All right, Shalom. First off, we all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakar Double honors to the apostles and elders of the GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, the women, the children, the confusion, the faith who follow. So I wanted to do this lesson. As you can see, it says, Scrutinize Thyself. Okay. So with that being said, Lord's will, this is going to be an edifying video. First thing I want to do is go into this word scrutinize or scrutiny. So we're in the etymology online. It says early 15th century, a vote to choose someone to decide a question, from late Latin scrutinium, a search inquiry. All right, from Latin scrutintary, to examine, to investigate, or to search. Right, so you want to investigate yourself, examine yourself, know what's right, what's wrong. Basically, you're picking yourself apart. Okay, it goes into to cut, a cutting tool, or to shred. Right, so what are you doing? You're cutting out the things that aren't good for you. All right, you're removing those things, so to speak, from your life and putting yourself in order. You're setting yourself up to succeed. All right, so let's go into the scripture, 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and 5. It says, examine yourself whether you be in the faith. Prove your own self. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahweh Shai HaMashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates. All right, so like I said, going into scrutiny, examining your own self. All right, being honest with yourself. All right, first and foremost, and being able to identify those things in your life, okay, that you need to scrutinize, that you need to pick apart, whether it be, a schedule, it could be anything, habits, good habits, bad habits, it's really, like it says, examining yourself, whether you be in the faith. Is this going to help me in this walk? Into being a man of the Lord. All right, so I want to go into this word prove, because it says to prove your own selves. And this is Strong's G1381. Doemadzo. It says to test, to examine, to prove, to scrutinize. Okay, whether genuine or not, as speaking of metals. But it says to recognize as genuine after examination, to approve or to deem worthy. And at the end of the day, that's all we are. That's all we all want, is to be deemed worthy of salvation. All right, in the eyes of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So going back into the precept, it says, prove your own self. Okay. So basically, recognize that you're genuine after the examination. So after you've already picked apart yourself, then you can test it. Okay, is this gonna work? This schedule that I've been having in the morning hasn't been working, so I'm gonna pick it apart, okay, and switch up the order to see if this is gonna work better for me. And then I test that. Okay, we're gonna do this for a week, and this is just an example. We're gonna do this for a week and see how my performance is. If my performance goes up, then we may keep it. If I see that I can even tweak it further from there, we would tweak it further from there. If it doesn't work and I'm even less productive, then we scrap it and go back to the drawing board. Sometimes you have to go back to the drawing board with a thing and start from scratch and rebuild it from there. Because what's the goal? The goal is to be efficient in Hamashiach, okay? Or, to be efficient in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. That's why it says, know ye not your own selves, how that Hamashiach is in you, except you be reprobates, right? So Yahushai gave his life for us, that we may have a chance to be in this gospel, okay, and to push forward this word. So we have to prove ourselves, okay, to be deemed worthy. All right. Moving on to the next precept. This is Sirach chapter 37, verse 27. It says, "My son, prove thy soul of thy life, see what is evil for it, and give not unto that." Going back to what I said earlier, really knowing who you are and what your pitfalls are, knowing what trips you up, okay, and not giving yourself into it, removing yourself from that situation, whether it be a person, whether it be a habit, whatever, basically taking that and removing it from your life, not giving yourself over to it. Okay. Since I said that, we can go into Matthew. This is Matthew 5 and 29. It says, "If thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not thy whole body should be cast into hell." Right, so whatever that thing is, once you've identified that as a problem, all right, as an issue, or you have to remove it from your life, or you can't continue to want to grow and think that you're gonna, be able to advance if this thing that's been holding you back is still a part of you. All right, it said to cut it off, that you would lose that one thing, but the rest of your body can be saved for salvation. It's not physically talking about cutting off your hand or ripping out your eye or anything like that, but that habit, you treat that habit as if it were your eye and you had to pluck it out. All right, it's better to have one eye than to have two good eyes and and eat a missile, so to speak, or to not receive salvation. Remember, we're trying to be deemed worthy. All right, that's what the proving ourselves is about. Galatians. This is Galatians, chapter 6, verse 4. It says, "But let every man prove his own work, then shall he have rejoice." Slakia. Galatians 6 and 3. "For if a man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another." Right? So you have to be humble. All right, you have to be of a contrite spirit, a lowly spirit, because you have to. If you think in your own mind that you're a legend, or that you might be high minded, or man, I know what I'm talking about, whatever. If you can't be reproved, if you can't reprove your own self, okay, then that's a problem. That's where your scrutiny should begin. But it says, if a man thinketh himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. So don't have blindness to that fact that you may have to, like I said, start over in whatever. You may have to humble yourself and say, "Hey, I don't know nothing, but I'm willing to learn." And okay, it says, "But let every man prove his own work." All right, you have to be able to it's like, yeah, I had what I was saying, and then it kind of left me. It says, "But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone." Right, because once you prove your own work, you've done the work. You've done what it takes to show that this is deemed worthy to go forward. You've taken that schedule and you've set it up properly so that you can have success. That's proving your own work. All right, it's something that can be deemed worthy to be a success. We're gonna get this last precept here. No, I guess that was that was the last precept. I want to go into this word here because the next precept, Galatians 5:6 and 5, it says, "For every man shall bear his own burden." Right. So I want to go into this word burden, which is Strong's G5413 14 on for Tion. It says a burden, a load, uh, a freight or landing of a ship, a metaphor for burdensome rights. It says faults of the conscience which oppress the soul. Um, Going into the Strong's definition, it says a task or service. We all have a task or a service which is due. All right. We all have a job to be done. And it says, for every man shall bear his own burden. Every man's going to have to prove himself that he is capable of getting the task at hand done. All right. And in order to do that, you're going to have to scrutinize. You're going to have to examine. You're going to have to do all these things to deem yourself worthy of salvation. All right. Starting over, humbling yourself. All these are part of picking yourself apart, taking those bad habits, knowing what to identify, knowing what you're susceptible to, your spirit is susceptible to, because we are in the flesh. So knowing what fleshly desires you may have and, giving out into it. All right, refraining from certain things, pulling yourself back. And maybe you're too humble. Maybe you need to abound more, okay, and speak up some. Whatever it is that you need to scrutinize, and not just saying you need to scrutinize, because there's plenty of things in my life that deserve scrutiny. And, Lord's will, I'm able to scrutinize and pick my own self apart to be deemed worthy. Just like, anyone out there who is, listening to this video. And with that being said, we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, the women, the children, the confusion, the faith who follow. Shalom.